Tim, we live? All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Dew Point. Welcome to everyone who's tuned into our live stream on YouTube around the country. And thank you for making time on this Tuesday evening to come out and listen to what we've got to say. So this evening is a particularly special evening. We're going to be giving our normal business presentation, but there's a slight spin on this evening, and that's because this evening's format is what we call Tell All Tuesday. So Tell All Tuesday is when we invite some of our wealth engineers, so the people that are already in this business and have been in the business for a little while, we invite them to come up on stage and share their stories with the rest of you. They are not prepped. We don't do any rehearsals, so I trust that the stories you're going to hear are going to be completely authentic. They're going to be original. They come straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So it's a very exciting format. The presentation will be online straight after the presentation, so you'll be able to share the presentation out if you'd like to. We're going to be spending about, well, it depends how long the wealth engineers take this evening, because sometimes they like to listen to themselves a little bit and they can go on for quite a while. So I was going to commit to an hour presentation, but we might run a little bit over, but I'm sure that the wealth engineers will keep us entertained nonetheless. But after the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions. We've got a good complement of staff here this evening, so you're welcome to come speak to any of us, speak to the other wealth engineers, and we'll gladly answer any questions that you might have after the presentation. All right, so let's begin. We are a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. And Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. Constantia was founded in 1952. We've been around for nearly 70 years. So we've been around for a very long time. We're a very reputable business. Typically, we've only dealt with other what we call UMAs, or other financial services providers. So you might not know or have heard of Constantia in the past. That's their orange logo, their building in the background. But for the first time through this division, Dew Point, are we now in contact with the public, with the consumer. So you're welcome to go do a background check on us. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there, 31111. You'll notice in our foyer and on our website, we've got all our Financial Services Board licenses on display. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, we've got our FSP license, obviously, and we've also got accreditation with the direct marketing and the direct selling associations. As you can see, we take credibility very seriously. I imagine that all our guests here this evening, one of the first fundamental steps to make at the end of this presentation is whether you trust us or not, right? And all of that credibility that we've just spoken now is hopefully forms part of the trust that we start to develop with you this evening. These are our executives and senior managers, starting with the first three characters on the far left. These are all registered chartered accountants. Mr. Brendan Benfield, I think if you're here for the first time, you might think he's the parking guard. But he's not the parking guard, he's actually the boss. He's the boss here. So I hope you didn't shout at him or swear at him because you couldn't park inside. But he is our senior executive. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly insurance, because their family have been entrenched in insurance his entire life. He was born into insurance. He's got a brother, Stuart, who's also involved in insurance. Their father is a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years. Dr. Brian Benfield actually founded the IFA and Clientele Life all those many decades ago. They founded businesses in Europe, in Australia. They've had a lot of success in the space. Brendan and his brother Stuart, both chartered accountants, followed in their father's footsteps, and together they founded a business down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD. And PMD's also had a lot of success. They're in the short-term insurance space. They're now the fourth biggest short-term insurer in the country. So we're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. Tim and Stacey, who you can see are our technical, we spread the business a little bit. We've got parking guards, we've got people running the live stream. So Tim and Stacey aren't our techies. Tim and Stacey actually head up the financial and the accounting, the auditing, and a lot of the regulatory aspects of business, very important parts of our business. Tim is very experienced in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years, where he reported directly to the CEO and the board of directors there. Stacey's been working in auditing all her career. She worked here as well as overseas in Luxembourg before she came back to South Africa and joined our team here. So those are the boring accountants. And then Jane and myself, we should actually keep these in black and white and make us color. That kind of represents our personalities here in the business, accountants and non-accountants. So Jane is actually from the UK. She's been in South Africa for almost 10 years. She's got a lot of experience in direct marketing or network marketing, and that is very important to our business because we're an insurance company, right? But our growth model that we've employed is one of referral network marketing. And so Jane brings that experience to the team, which is very important. Myself, I've been working in advertising for over 20 years. I ran my own digital agency for about 15 of those years before I joined the team. You are welcome to go do a background check on us. We've got bios up on our website. You can go check us on Hello Peter to see if anyone's chasing us with complaints. But our mandate to staff of DewPoint, so these people that you see here, we've got client service staff and some admin staff. Our mandate to staff of DewPoint is to support people that join us in this business endeavor. We want to see you profitable and as effective as possible because we can only be profitable as a business if you are being effective in the business. And so everything that we've done, all the money that we've invested in the technology is geared to support you and help make you effective in this business. And our doors are always open. You can speak to any of the wealth engineers. You're welcome to come speak to us at any time. You've got full access to us pretty much all the time except Sundays. That's okay, right? Maybe if you meet me at church, I'll see you then. So briefly, I just wanted to discuss the circumstance that we find ourselves in. You can see it's a fairly negative slide. Some people have said to me, Rob, you need to just cut this slide out. It's too negative, right? But that's why we're all here. If our employment, if our salaries were the answer to all the issues in our lives, we wouldn't be here this evening. No one would be here. You wouldn't be looking for anything extra, right? So we have to pay cognizance to the circumstance that we find ourselves in because the economy is doing something to us. It's doing something to your salary. It's doing something to the country as a whole in terms of growth. So we've got very high inflation. We've got high interest rates. We've got astronomical food inflation in South Africa. And you'll notice that every single month because your money seems to be running out sooner at the end of the month. Because the majority of the population, their salaries haven't kept up with what inflation's been growing at, right? Or the cost of living's been growing at. So if you've got a raise in your salary of around 6-7% every year for the last 7 years, your salary's actually kept up with inflation. But for the majority of us, we haven't gotten that raise every single year. Our salaries have in effect devalued against what the cost of living is. And we make the mistake of trying to use debt to band-aid over this gap between the cost of living and what your salary is. But it proliferates the problem, makes the problem worse. And we feel that every month, right? And we're often criticized by economists and by people that South Africa engages too much in debt instruments and not enough in savings and investment products. And this comes to a head when you get to retirement. Because if you're like me, you turn a blind eye to retirement, right? It's only when you start getting closer to retirement you go, oh boy, there's trouble looming. There's trouble on the horizon, right? At the age of 40. Because for most South Africans, and this is statistics, this is data that we get from the Financial Services Board and other sources that paint a picture of what personal finance looks like for the majority of South Africans. It's not a pretty picture. 97% of us are going to retire financially dependent. I was speaking to another financial advisor just a couple of weeks ago. He says generally, most of his clients will retire on half their salaries. So they have to be used to or get used to getting half their income once they're retired. So we are faced with that. Majority of us are faced with this. The business presentation this evening is about changing the circumstance. I want you to be in a position in a few years' time where you don't have to look for anything extra anymore. That you're happy with your circumstance, right? And so out of this all the negativity, as a business, we saw an opportunity. We saw the opportunity to create a platform for the average South African to engage in to change that circumstance for themselves. So we launched a system last year. 2 years ago, DewPoint was launched. We called it the DewPoint system, and it has 3 aspirations in mind for the people. So you might think that you've arrived here just thinking, well, I'm just here to earn additional income. But we actually want to do more than just put money in people's hands. For me personally, I see greater value in changing the way people think about money rather than just giving them money, right? I think information, knowledge is more empowering than just having money put into your back pocket all the time. And the aspirations that we have for people in this business is for people to aspire to becoming debt-free. Debt is not good, right? Ultimately, you want to create wealth. Can you create wealth if you owe other people money? Goes without saying, you cannot. And so our first aspiration is to become debt-free as quickly as possible, and that empowers you to then start focusing on creating wealth. And we create wealth through owning assets, right, that appreciate, investments, whatever those assets are. And then the third aspiration is, like I said, to change your circumstance so that you're happy. You're happy at the end of the month. You're not stressed. You're not stressed going through December and January. Did everyone make it out of January alive? Right? You still got a smile in your faces. That's a good sign. That's a good sign, because January, it's like being in the desert, right? It's like being in the desert. We want to change that circumstance in this business. We want to change people's lives by empowering them through finance. So those are 3 aspirations. You can align yourself with those aspirations. You don't have to. It's completely up to you. How this business works is our guests here this evening, you have the opportunity to join DewPoint. And when you join us, you actually contract with us. And once you're contracted with DewPoint, we call you wealth engineers. So that's the term we give people that join us in this business, wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, you've got one task. So there's one sole task, one focus in this business, and that is what we call growing or building channels of distribution, right? That's what we're going to be doing here at DewPoint. Basically, it is you introducing people to us. And our online platform will facilitate the sale of products to those people. That's as simply as it is. The benefit for you is that you get to create additional income. So that's obvious. You know, that's why you're here. You're not here for the Kit Kats. Anyone come for the Kit Kats? Someone told you there's free Kit Kats in Bryanston. You thought, I'm going. That's when you know January's been really bad. Right? You've got to drive to Bryanston for a Kit Kat. You're here for the income. But what's important to note is that the nature of the income that you produce here is what we call recurring income. Some people, you'll see in business circles, people refer to something called passive income. My father dumbed it down for me when I was about 12. I think I was just going into high school, talking about business and all kinds of things with my father, and he said, you want to get into business that makes you money while you're sleeping. That's the same as passive or recurring income. But I guess the majority of us didn't realize that you could make money while you were sleeping, right? You make money when you're sleeping by the ownership of assets that increase in value. It's the antithesis of employment. We've got a contract that says you work so many hours a month and you get paid a salary, and that's it. That number doesn't budge. If you're lucky, that number increases by 5% at the end of the financial year. In this business, you have ability to make recurring income. This is extremely empowering. It's actually something that's inherent to insurance companies. We've got a thing called the book value. Our book value, we try to grow every single month, and that book value pays out a recurring income into our business. You get to partake in that benefit in our business. You can spend effort in building your channel of distribution in the month of February that'll pay you in March, it'll pay you in April, it'll pay you in May. We've got lots of examples of people that have even walked away from this business. They've walked away from it for a year and they're still getting paid. When does that happen? Recurring income. We harness the power of duplication. This is leverage. This is the ability to multiply yourself. Imagine that. Imagine making money while you're sleeping and being able to clone yourself. Don't you ever think, I wish I could clone myself? I've just had a second kid, and I wish I could clone myself. Send the one to go look after the baby while the other one sleeps. Right? In this business, you get to enjoy leverage. Again, these people that you bring into the business, the new people that you're going to be introducing to DewPoint, you're going to get to collaborate with those people. Those people are going to hopefully duplicate your behavior, and you're going to get to benefit out of this leverage. And leverage is duplicating yourself. It's multiplying yourself. Because if you only have an hour of time to spend yourself in this business, investing time in this business, but if you've got 20 other people doing the same thing, now you've got 21 hours being invested into your business on a daily basis. That's leverage. The business is also flexi time. It's the luxury you get to decide when this business fits into your life, right? You can decide, well, it's only Tuesday evenings once a week, or it could be every evening in the week, or only weekends or Sundays. You get to choose that. That's your decision that you get to make. There's no startup capital in our business. We don't have registration fees to become a wealth engineer. We don't have boxes of product that you have to invest in to get started in this business. And so we make the business as risk-free as possible so that it's more accessible to the average person. There's no qualifications or experience required. Who brought their CV this evening? No one? Maybe there's one or two of you that are too shy to put your hand up now. Right? We're not interested in your qualifications or experience. We're only interested in work ethic. Doesn't matter what background you have. Right? I get more excited when I see people that are, that don't have matric or don't have corporate experience doing this business and excelling and succeeding. Right? Because I see that the business becomes accessible and workable for anybody. Right? So there's no excuse. You get to build an asset. Now, for me, this is probably the most important benefit. Because if I'm saying to you, if I propose to you, that I want you to sacrifice time into this business. Your free time, your time watching TV, your time relaxing, your time spending time with children, your family. I say, I want some of that time for you to invest in this business. For both our benefits, know that this channel of distribution that you're building, you have legal tender over it. What does that mean? It means you own the channel of distribution you're building. Well, why is that important? Well, think about employment. Do you own the business that you work for? Do you even have shares? Do you get a dividend check every quarter? No, no, and no, right? So you don't get to partake in the upside of that business. You don't. You get your salary. That's it. Don't ask for any more. But you have to partake in the downside. Because if the business struggles, you don't get a raise. When inflation's at 5%, you don't get a raise. Sorry, the business is doing well, the industry is doing well, the economy is not doing well. If the business really struggles, then you hear whisperings of retrenchment in the corridors. Right? That's you forced to partake in the downside. In this business, the effort you're putting in is into an asset that you have ownership over that'll keep paying you this recurring income even beyond retirement. You'll retire. Your boss will have said to you, thanks for your 45 years, go. But DewPoint will still pay you. There's no retirement at DewPoint. DewPoint will carry on paying even once you die. Because asset value doesn't disappear. The asset becomes part of your estate. You can leave your channel of distribution to your children, to your spouse. So I'm hoping that we'll be happy to sacrifice time into building this channel of distribution, knowing that you have ownership over it. There's no selling involved in this business. Who loves to sell vitamins on weekends to their friends? I know Andrew does. Right? That's not a great prospect, right? So cleverly in our system, we've actually removed you from the obligation of selling. This is a great benefit. I don't have to sell anymore. All you're going to be doing is going out and telling people that a financial opportunity exists. And you can elaborate. You can say a 70-year-old company, regulated by the FSB. They've been around for ages. That's all you have to tell them. You just have to connect people to this business, to the opportunity. You don't have to sell anything. You don't have to talk about our products. You don't have to answer questions about our products. The nature of our products are also a benefit because they are not tangible. Like I always joke, we don't have milkshakes, we don't have vitamins. You don't have to invest in boxes of product. It doesn't take up space at home. It doesn't expire. It doesn't start to smell funny when you forget about it over December. Right? So we make the products as convenient as possible. But your success in our business is predicated very much on your ability to build a channel of distribution. Now, we keep talking about these channels of distribution. How does it look? Well, it begins with you. You become a wealth engineer with one of our products, and you're going to go out and tell, like I said, other people about the opportunity. If you're successful in that process, and you can get some people, friends, family, strangers, whoever, to come sit down in a presentation like this, and to become wealth engineers who take out one of our products, that's the beginning of your channel of distribution. And this is where the leverage, the power duplication starts to take place. Because in this example, you only introduced 5 people into this business, right? But look what it's suddenly become. We've got thousands of examples of channels that are built like this. This is the leverage. This is your ability to duplicate yourself. Because really, how much effort did it take to bring 5 people into the business? But your channel could look like this, and you're getting paid for this entire qualified channel. My hope is that people in this business will invest enough time into the business to create a sustainable channel. By that I mean sustainable, a quality channel that doesn't collapse every month, right? So you're going to bring in people that you can depend on in this business. And you'll be empowered at one point in time where you can resign from work, possibly, and you can take 3 months holiday because you know DewPoint's paying you every month. You don't have to go to work 9 to 5. That can be an aspiration of yours. Who would like to stop working? Right? Tell me about it. I'm forced to work here. But I despise traffic. I live on the East Rand. It's 2 hours. 2 hours I spend in traffic. If I can get rid of work, I just need to figure out how to tell Brendan that I'm not going to be working here. Right? 2 hours of my life that I can save. I can sleep in. I can do work when I want to. It's about flexibility. That's what true liberation is all about. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. This is our focus. This is what you're going to be building. Some people might have arrived at this presentation thinking, oh, I've been invited to one of those presentations. The word scheme comes up, right, in that fear. I'm hoping at the beginning of the presentation I allayed that fear. Right? We're a very reputable business, very reputable individuals in this business, an authentic business. It's an entrepreneurial opportunity that we're extending to the public. Very easily, we could have started another company like PMD and just did advertising. Send all the money to DSTV, to the newspapers, to all the media houses, and bring business in that way. But our aspirations are to have impact on this country, not to just make the media houses richer. Right, we're not one of those companies. This is an authentic business opportunity that every single one of you can take advantage of. At the same time, Brendan and myself will never tell you that being successful, see, this leg actually represents a successful entrepreneur. We'll never tell you that happens quickly or easily. That's what real business looks like. Anyone tried to start their own company? You know all about it, right? You know all about it. I mean, they're different percentages, but I've heard percentages from 95% to 80% of the amount of businesses that fail in their first year. How many of those people invested their life savings every minute of the day into those businesses? When we invite you to this entrepreneurial opportunity, believe me, if you want to be successful at it, it's not something that happens overnight. We have to be consistent, persistent. You have to have that tenacity, that chip on your shoulder to make it work against odds. Right? So don't be tricked into thinking, oh, I'm at a get-rich-quick scheme. I know everyone wants to get rich quickly. Who wants to get rich slowly? Anyone? See, that was a trick question. You should have all put your hand up. You all want to be part of a get-rich-quick scheme. Okay, we've got to work at it. And know that we are right behind you. This is a business about collaboration. None of us are working against each other. We're all working together in the same direction. Okay. So how does all of this work? Well, like a traditional business that would go out and do advertising, like a traditional insurance company, to get people to be exposed to their products, we do the same thing, right? But we use our wealth engineers. So you're going to connect people to us, and we're going to expose them to the products that we have. We've got 3 products. Their benefit is all financial in nature. So the first product is called Access Wealth. It is our investment product. So Access Wealth is 324 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand goes into a tax-free investment fund, right? It's with Sanlam, and it's a no-access, no restriction, no notice investment. That means you can withdraw the investment at any stage. It takes us about 72 hours to withdraw the investment for you, right? You don't have to give us 30 or 60 days notice. On top of that, we give you a little bit of personal accident cover to the value of 120,000 Rand. So for example, if you have this investment, 100 Rand is going into your tax-free investment fund every single month, you're killed in a car accident, we pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand plus whatever's in the investment. Right? So this is our investment product, Access Wealth. Product number 2 is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is strictly insurance. It is only insurance. It is 299 Rand a month, but this time you get 1.2 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. So note I'm saying personal accident cover. I'm not calling this life insurance, and I haven't said funeral cover. Right? Those products profile you from a health point of view. So you go ask for life insurance or funeral cover, they're going to ask you exactly what your health status is. They want to know how old you are, how many times you've been to the doctor in your life, if you're missing any organs, any of that. If you're a hazard, they want to know all of that. The beauty of our personal accident cover products is that we don't profile you from a health point of view. So this product I can offer to anyone over the age of 18. It doesn't matter if you're 75, you're diabetic, you've got cancer, it doesn't matter. I can offer you the same product for the same premium every month with the same amount of cover. That's the beauty of personal accident cover, right? The third product is called Wealth Points. We call it the Wealth Points Buyers Club Program. Very long. Wealth Points, 299 Rand a month. And what this product aims to do is save you money on the money that you're spending every month anyway. So if you look at the list of partners there, I bet you that you spend money at least one of those partners, right? So we've got cars covered, we've got data covered, we've got groceries covered, we've got beauty covered, right? We've covered almost everything there. If you have this product, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with the partners there. So for example, always on Wi-Fi data, if you had to go to them and say, I need 1 gig of data, they'd say it's 100 Rand. But if you're a Wealth Points program member, it's only 37 Rand. Right? Do you see the discounts that you get? So the discounts are different with every single partner. Great product. If you're looking for immediate benefit, Wealth Points is a great product. Very excitingly, we are adding new partners to this product all the time. All the time. So we've got a new partner. This is the announcement. So what does that mean? It means if you go to Jaguar Land Rover Sandton, they will beat any price on a Jaguar Land Rover in the country. They can provide service around the country. They've got new and used vehicles, and they promise to give our Wealth Points Buyers Club program members the best service ever. You see the benefit of their product? Yeah. I'll tell them to reserve 100 Range Rovers for us. On your way to a Range Rover? There we go. All right, so we're adding new partners to that program all the time. You'll see announcements like this happen throughout the year as we add new businesses to the Wealth Points product. All right, so to kind of discuss further the difference between us and a typical insurance company, just so that you understand our business model. Like I said, a company down the road like Meridian does a lot of advertising every month. That's how they get exposure to their products, right? You see there, we all see the adverts that PMD do, right? Because they spend thousands on a daily basis, hundreds of thousands on a daily basis exposing their business. At DewPoint, we don't do any advertising. We don't spend a cent on marketing here at DewPoint. You won't see a DewPoint logo outside of this building. Why? Because we rely on you, on our wealth engineers, to go out and connect people to DewPoint. And so we don't have to spend the billions that the insurance industry spends every single year on advertising. We can take that portion of our budget and we can attribute it to the returns and rewards program, which I'm going to show you shortly, to the benefit of our wealth engineers. And that's basically how our business model works. All right, so let's talk about the two ways to earn. So the first way is through our returns program. The returns program is your ability to make recurring income. This is the primary thing that we're going to focus on here at DewPoint. It's the number one thing that you want to do, is create the recurring income. This is how it works. We pay you R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel, right? That's our base return fee. But it is dependent on where that product lies. So remember the first 5 individuals you introduced to the business? That product lies on your first point. It is 1 point away from you. On your first point, we pay you double the R27.50. So you get paid R55 for every product on your first point every month. Remember, it's recurring income. It's not once off. It's recurring income. Those people go out and they find other wealth engineers. That product lies on your second point. And on your second point, again, you get paid R55 for every product. And as your channel starts to grow through this power duplication, you see the multiplier starts to drop. By the 8th point, you're getting paid 4% of the R27.50. But what's important to note is that we don't limit you in this business in any way. We've got wealth engineers that are already at point 30 in our business. And they earn from point 8 all the way to point 30 in their qualified channels. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get. We don't limit you on how much money you can make at DewPoint. It's completely up to you. The onus falls squarely on your shoulders. You want a bigger channel? Go make it happen. So this is the mechanics of the returns. The next natural question, typically, that everyone asks, how much money can you make in this business? Give me an idea. So I'm going to start off with some very disappointing figures. But we're going to use it as a lesson, right? So we built this projection over the next 5 years. So this could be you in the next 5 years. That shows you what you could earn. But it is based on a premise, a growth formula. The growth formula we call 3 + 2. It assumes in your first month you can add 3 people into your business, right? So not the 5 in the example, just 3 in your first month. And then every consecutive month you only have to add in 2. So we're in February. If you join this evening and you've put 3 in February, and March you put in 2, April another 2, May another 2, June another 2, and you keep adding 2 people every month into perpetuity, you will follow this growth formula. And you can expect after about 6 months to be earning about R2,500. Do you see the numbers disappointing? Is it disappointing? I'm looking at your faces. Didn't even hear one halala. So this is the lesson. Because at the beginning of the presentation, I said, I don't only want to put money in your hand, I want to change the way you think about money. Right? And I make the mistake. This is how I realized this, because I made the mistake myself constantly. I think about money like a consumer. Right? It's a curse. It's a curse to think like a consumer. Because if you give me R2,500, I promise you I know what I'm going to spend. I've got a list of stuff that I can spend on. Everything. You give me R500,000, I know what I'm spending my R500,000 on. R2,000, R1,000, everything's got a price, right? I know what I'm going to spend it on. Thinking like consumers doesn't lead to wealth. And we're here to build wealth. So I want you to really think about our first aspiration, paying your debt off faster, because paying your debt off faster is the same as investing money. It's exactly the same thing, right? So here we have an example of someone with R1 million debt, a R1 million bond. If you're my age, 40, and you engage in a bond now for the first time, it's typically a 20-year bond. On R1 million bond at prime plus 2, I'm going to be paying the bank back 11,500 Rand a month for the next 20 years. I'll make my final installment on my R1 million house at the age of 60. Right? This is how the bond works. We forget about it because we just pay it every month and no one aspires to paying it off any faster. But if you take that 2,500 Rand that you're now earning, that little 2,500 Rand, and you put it in as an additional payment into your bond payment every month, you'll reduce the term from 20 years to 11.5 years. You will nearly halve the term of your bond. You'll pay your house off. In my case, I'll pay it off at the age of 51. So what? Do you know how much money that saves you in interest? Saves you in hard currency, payments that you would have had to make to the bank if you didn't pay it off sooner. It saves you nearly R1 million. The whole house cost R1 million. And 2,500 Rand can save you nearly the full value of the asset that you financed in the first place. At 12 months, you're earning in excess of 100,000 Rand in annual recurring income. Who would like a 100,000 Rand check right now? Okay, half of you. I can see I've got a tough crowd this evening. Some rich people here, they don't want a 100,000 Rand check. Only half of you want it. Who's willing to work for 12 months to get the 100,000 Rand check? Okay, only 4 of you. We're thinning you out, right? That's just getting started. At month 24, we had nearly 30,000 Rand a month. 30,000 a month. What can you do with 30,000 a month? Doesn't matter if you're earning 200,000 Rand a month. An extra 30 grand a month is notable. That's 24 months away. At 36 months, we had nearly 50,000 Rand a month. You want to look at an example of paying your debt off and creating investment? At the 30-month mark, you're earning 36,000 Rand. The decision you're faced with is, do I buy a 2 million Rand car and finance it and pay it off at 36,000 Rand a month, or do I put it into my bond? Which one? You're lying to me. To my face. That red Range Rover cost 2 million Rand. You're going to buy the Range Rover, right? How's your family going to know you're successful if you're paying the bond off faster and you're still driving the Polo? But if you do decide to pay your house off faster, your bond off faster, you can pay a 5 million Rand bond off in less than 7 years. So at the age of 47, I could pay that first house off. So I start investing. I paid my debt off. Now I start creating wealth. I start investing. So I decide to buy more property, right? Property sounds like a good investment. You always hear people saying property is a great investment. So I go buy another 5 million Rand house. And 7 years later, I pay that off. So I'm 54. I've got 2 houses now. I buy a third house, and I pay that off at the age of 61. Right? Just with that extra 36,000 Rand every month. I'm now 61 years old. I own 3 houses. I live in one. I'm renting 2 out for 60,000, 70,000 a month. What is Dew Point paying me at year 21? It takes a decision 20 years before you get to enjoy the fruits of that labor. When you're at that 70,000 Rand mark, you can go buy 2 Range Rovers. You keep going. After 48 months, you're close to 70,000 Rand a month. After 1 year, after 5 years, 60 months. 60 months from today, you could be earning R1 million in annual recurring income. Who would like a 1 million Rand check right now? Think about that. I want you to think about it, because I know I lost you along the way. You thought, oh, the number's too big now. I don't know what he's talking about anymore. The number's too big. I started too small, I ended too big, but think about earning R1 million in annual recurring income. Think about how that liberates your life, how you don't have to depend on employment anymore, how you can send your kids to any school you want to send them to. You can go anywhere in December for holidays. Oh, but the rest of the family is going to be chasing you. Right? They're going to be chasing you. You're going to send them to Dew Point. It empowers you in so many ways. But this is all academic. It's just an example. The clever accountants came up with the example. It's just an example. 3 plus 2. 2 every month, remember? You can do less than that. Got wealth engineers, they join the business. They get excited by the prospects of creating recurring income. They don't do anything. I call them the 0 plus 0 club. Right? There's a large proportion of people like that. I don't have the answer to that. But I've also got people that do more than 3 plus 2. And those people I get very excited about. So I know the system works. It is completely up to you. You get to decide every single morning when you wake up what you're doing. No one makes a decision of your thought process for you. I've got a wonderful man coming up now. Shadrach, come join me on stage. There you go. So, from Madadeni, Newcastle. Everyone knows you there.
Yeah.
It's a popular man down there. Joined on the 15th of April last year. He's at rank 4. So in our rewards program, you'll see a little bit later, you'll know what rank 4 is all about. But let's look at the highlights of the last 10 months. Currently, recurring income, the value of his channel as it stands in the middle of this month is sitting at over 12,000 a month. This gentleman, personal activity, right? This is his personal activity, his first point. In the example we showed, 5 people in your first point, remember? Then we said in the growth formula, you do 3 and then 2 every month. In 10 months, 213 people he got to join his first point. Last month, he did 33. 30 days. And you'll see a little bit later, we've got these very short-term monthly challenges called Wealth Quests. He conquered 3 Wealth Quests in the last 10 months. That's the second highest in our business. So well done on all of that. There's no question about your commitment to this business, but what I'd like to do is ask you to share your experience, because 10 months ago, you got exposed to this business for the first time. You saw the presentation for the first time. Maybe you've never heard of DewPoint ever. What was that like for you?
Okay. Greetings, everyone. Yes, my name is Musa Shadrach Twala, common name Shuka, all the way from Newcastle, Matate.
Is that because you're sweet with the ladies, or just because you were born in the sugarcane fields?
No, I'm just a sweet person. Yeah. Yes, when I first hear about this business, I heard from my first pointer, for my lead, Siyabonga Smelane. I'll be honest with you, I never joined these things of network marketing or anything. But when it comes to me, I ask myself, this guy, I've been with him for more than 6 months, a year. It's just a teacher, but now he's coming with something new. I never take it serious. Because for you to convince me, you need to have a year and a half. So eventually when he started explaining, I said, let me give my time and learn this business. The good thing that I learned about this business is that I don't have to sell anything. I hate selling stuff, honestly, because when you go sell stuff to people, you get so disappointed. You also create enemies. So eventually, I was interested. I went on a website, I read about the business. I'll be honest with you. First month, April 24, when I started joining, I said, let me just put these 3 people one day. Those 3 people, I said, let me get myself to learn about this business. You know what I like about DewPoint? When you go and talk to the people, people just look at you. When you start opening the laptop, one by one they're going. So I said, what is going on here? He said, and you know what is hating most is that even the people who are educated, even if you give them a website, they don't have even 2 minutes to listen to you. But I'll tell you one thing, don't give up. You know, if other people do come across, and I had this target, to say, when I go to school, there's 25 teachers. I'm going to win big time. I'm telling you, when you get to the staff room, only 3 pitch up. You'll be disappointed. So I said, let me go back and strategize. You know, for these 10 months, it's not easy, guys. But if I can tell you, all the people that I've registered in a business, first 3-4 months when I joined a business, they are all coming back now. They said, this thing, pay 1 month. They said, I am going to work. They mislead you. Said, I am going to get 20 people from church, everything. Month comes, nothing. Second month, nothing. And don't make a mistake to say, oh, you hear this person and you started assisting the person, then you start putting people under him. The next thing, he doesn't pay. You're taking a good people who are duplicating, you put in a wrong people. And you start crying crocodile tears. So what I've told myself, I said, let me see where did I go wrong. I've been to school, churches, hospital, everywhere. Then I said, but these people, they don't understand this business. What if maybe I strategize to say, okay, let me start with the people who know computer IT guys. I'm telling you, won't go wrong. Because they like to act as if they know better. And it's good. I'm telling you now, the strategy to win in this business, you need to be presented. And you need to be down to earth. If you approach a person, make sure that that person, he acts as if you know your business better than you know. For instance, if I approach people, I tell them, not, I'm in this business, but my challenge is that since we've got working experience, maybe you can show me how to manage my business. Before I can talk about you, point, said, give me your website, let me check your business, everything. And it's running with my business. So, never rely on someone. Have your target, like myself, I put myself a target, said, a month. If I'm failing to put people or make money, at least a minimum of 1,500 a month. So, sometimes you'll be fortunate to find people who love the business and start reading about it. And don't lie to people. And don't try to force people and twist their hand. Others have got money, they sign today, next month they cancel. Because you can't keep on knocking their doors. They are married. So, in fact, I won't be long. I'll focus on business. I'll start with the lows. The challenges that we get most, people in South Africa don't have money. They rather use that 300 rand to buy more booze or something. But they can't use that 300 to change their lives. It's up to you to make sure that people, convince people, make them understand, to say, you are not here to convince him, but to make her understand what can be done with the 300 to change his or her life. If you tell someone, especially focus on Access Web, to say, you also got an investment here. Maybe you are paying your visit to your boyfriend 6 months down the line, she doesn't decide to give you money, you can withdraw online. It's something. You also covered here, all of us here, when you're going home, you are getting in a car, ne? You don't know whether you reach home safe or what. So people, they start buying in and make them believe, to say, don't focus on product, focus on making business. You see, I'm sure you are shocked. I was here 4 months back or so. I'm gaining weight now. You see? You see? Not to say I'm eating a lot. I'm happy, I'm free, because now, not even one person, even if a chartered accountant or doctor, who can stand in front of me and shout. I'm earning. You see? I told you 3 months back to say I'm dark in color, I'm becoming caramel now. It's pecan. You see? So guys, the last one on the lows is that in this business, don't mislead people. Don't say things that is not highlighted by 2 Point. Because there are people who are intelligent. First impression last. If you lie to someone, when he's sitting home with the family, started reading 2 Point intro presentation, you see that this guy was misleading us. He never trusts you. We are collapsing your business. And make sure that whenever you go to people, be short. Other people, they don't have time. They are managers. And lastly, when people don't pay their debit orders, labs, or anything, don't shout at them. Pay a visit at their home. What are the challenges? What are the problems? You understand? They start listening. Some, they don't have money, really, honestly. Especially, you find them said, I'm getting paid today. The following day, I don't have even a cent. But is interested in a business. You tell the person, if you can get 300 bucks, you start working, get 10 people, it start paying itself. We are rolling. The next month, you're just making a profit. They start taking you serious. But the good thing now, the highest about this business, when you talk to people, we are so passionate that we are changing someone's life. And make people feel like, yo, if I can listen to this guy, because you know what we are selling. Some will come to them with a laptop, say, close the laptop, start talking. You don't know. Just tell me anything about your point. You don't have a clue because you don't even educate yourself. Start educating yourself in this business. This live presentation, they are helping because it's like a song. Understand? I normally tell people when you go to church, after the church, before you go out, when you start donating, everyone donate money. Why? Just because the preacher knows his verses. But if you are a wealth engineer, you still doesn't know your point, you'll never get quality people. Because we are singing the song that you don't know. So in short, guys, I don't belong. If you start working this business, it's going to reward you. I've put in myself a target to say, come June, at least if I have 500 five pointers, that is only 27,000 alone. So guys, stretch yourself out. 10 minutes, you are doing absolutely nothing. You should blame yourself to say, I wake up in the morning, I'm doing absolutely nothing. It's a waste of time. So it's a nice business. It's going to look after you. And look now, I've got paid yesterday from 2 Point. And when I thought I've paid, there's another 10,000 coming in from 2 Point. I'm also getting paid Friday. So I've never touched this man. That's why I'm saying I'll start gymming now because I'm free. And last one, when I go to the gym, all the people who are exercising there, 90% will be on 2 Point by Friday.
Before you go, so Shadrach mentioned his 10,000 Rand last month, so I got it with me. The Wealth Quest last month was if you could put in more than 20 people into our business that all successfully pay their debit orders before the end of the month, 10,000 Rand on top of your recurring income. So there you go, sir. Well done. Thank you for everything. Such a wonderfully pragmatic approach to business, right? No obstacle. He just figures a way out to get around the obstacle, to learn from all these misgivings, to learn. There's learning process in everything that we do. He's willing to take on that learning process and better himself, increasing his recurring income every single month. Very exciting to watch. So what is the decision we need to make? What is the decision we left with this evening as guests? You've seen Shadrach, you've listened to his story, right? We've got more stories in store for you. For me, I sum it up very easily, and he discussed a lot of it. Are you willing to endure the downside of entrepreneurship if you want what's on the table? Do you want recurring income? It's sitting there on the table. We've got incentives, we've got a rewards program. It's on the table for every single person in this room to take. Are you willing to endure the downside, the frustration of dealing with people that don't pay their products, people that let you down, 10 people that say they're going to arrive and only 3 people arrive? That's the decision for me. I sum it up very quickly. Often refer to Elon Musk's interview, and he says people fantasize what entrepreneurship's all about. They romanticize it. But there's downside to it. You've got to be like that ballerina with the bloody foot, the toenails that have come off, the bruises, right? That's what business is all about. And that's what the decision is. Well, at least for me. How do you get started in this business? Read your code of conduct. It is our contract with you that defines what you can and cannot do as wealth engineers. Register as a wealth engineer. Very simple, 7 minutes online. So go to our website, click on the big blue apply button, you're a wealth engineer in under 10 minutes. Time to get started. Complete the online training. Again, like Shadrach says, understand the business. Know the song. Know the song, right? Set goals for yourself. Stretch yourself. What are your goals? Don't limit yourself. I promise you this business is limitless. It is limitless. Stretch yourself when you set these goals. Let your imagination run a little wild. Who believes that they can actually get to 100,000 Rand a month in additional income? Do you believe that could be possible for you? Not in 20 years' time. In 5 years or less. Prepare a plan to get there. That's where the support of this business comes in, because we help you along the way. We will help you strategize. We'll help you set your goals. We'll help you develop a plan to get there and to keep track of that plan, to keep yourself accountable to getting there. And then the simple task of just speaking to people. Mr. Twala got 213 people in the last 10 months, 10, 11 months. How many people did you have to speak to get 213 to agree to the business? 400? 500? You have to task yourself with keeping that number accountable. That's the number. That's the important number. How many doors are you knocking on? No other number is important in this business. It comes down to how many doors are you willing to knock on a daily basis. And we help you along the way. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. The merchandise we've developed to assist you in building your channels of distribution. Business cards are foremost for me. I cannot see anyone conducting business without business cards, right? So consider getting the business cards. The sticks, the USB sticks, we've got all our video on there, so you don't have to use data. The pins represent people earning money in this business. If you go ask anyone for advice, make sure you go speak to someone that's got a pin on their lapel, because they know how to earn money in this business. If they don't have a pin, then you're probably speaking to the 0+0 club, right? You don't want advice from them. And the bigger and the flashier the pin that they've got on, the more experience and the more success they've had in our business. So get your own. When you get to rank 1, get your own. We've got a host of other merchandise, all on display in the cabinet. The credit card machine has been warmed up for everybody to start to get going in this business. It's about belief. How much do you believe in this business that you're now part of? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got about 500 videos on there. There's a wealth of knowledge on there, but you only have to watch 8 videos to go through our basic series, and it'll tell you everything about this business. The most important one we did again last Saturday. Returns and rewards. Go watch that dev seminar. As a new wealth engineer, you need to watch that and understand it, right? It defines how we pay you. And then download our mobile app. It is the most important business tool, is this mobile app. It runs on, obviously, smartphones, so you need to have a smartphone to run it. It runs on Google and Apple and Android devices. It reflects in real time what's happening in your business. In real time. You will wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock, and that app will tell you whether you made money while you were sleeping. Because your channel will be growing when you're sleeping, whether you like it or not, right? Between midnight and 6 o'clock, people join this business. In your channel will increase, your recurring income will increase while you're sleeping. So download the mobile app. Some don'ts that we need to highlight. So very quickly, you need resources to thrive in this business. Our business is not designed to burden the burdened, right? We want to empower people that have the resources to thrive. And so it goes without saying, if you cannot afford the product, the business is probably not for you. If you don't have access or can't afford data, the business is probably not for you. If you don't have access to transport, you're going to struggle in this business, because this is still a face-to-face business. You still have to have personal relationship with the people that you bring into the business if you want to be successful. Don't ever complete DewPoint application forms on behalf of somebody else. That is fraudulent, right? The applicant has to do the application themselves. Don't add direct family members that live with you into your channel. This is a black and white rule, right? There's no gray area in this rule. If you've got family members that live with you, they can't be in your channel. They can be in someone else's channel. If you've got family members that have left home, they can be in your channel, right? Is that clear? Don't start your own Facebook page. This is illegal and fraudulent too, right? You cannot promote DewPoint, our products, our subsidiaries, our third parties on any social media platform. Don't send prospects. So don't send any leads or prospects to DewPoint unattended. What this point actually speaks to is the responsibility that we have towards our prospects. Shadrach spoke about it again. He said, people are clever, right? Treat them with dignity. Doesn't matter what you think of them. You never know who's going to join your channel. I promise you, I've seen it constantly. I get people saying, oh, if this person joins my business, he's a superstar. And the person joins and does nothing. And then they get a stranger that they spoke to and met and helped connect to the business, and suddenly that person brings in 100 people in a month, right? You don't know who you're prospecting. Treat everyone responsibly and professionally in this business. So those are the don'ts. This is the wealth quest, right? So you also want 10,000 Rand. You also want to benefit. We have these short-term wealth quests that run from the first to the last day of the month. February's is called the Triple Lightning Qualifier. So we challenge you to find 3 people to join your business, your first point, in the month of February. And if you can assist them and support them to become qualified themselves, which means those 3 people need to find 3 people of their own. So now we're talking about 12 people in total. If you can do that in the month of February and everyone pays their debit orders successfully by the end of the month, you can choose between a brand new iPhone 5S, an iPad, a smart TV, and get 3,000 XP before the end of March. That's on offer. You work hard in February, there's a sweetener involved. All right? So that's our Wealth Quest. We do these every single month. We have Natasha Weldrick now up as our second wealth engineer. She is from Port Elizabeth in the Eastern Cape. You can see there on the little map. She joined in December, so about a year ago now, so just over a year. She is already rank 5. She's not with us this evening, but she's been kind enough to send us a voice note. Let's take a look at the highlights of her tenure here as a wealth engineer. She is on nearly 10,000 Rand a month. She started like a firecracker in this business. Let me tell you, her first couple of months were amazing. In her second month, she was in over 2,500 Rand. In her third month, she was at 3,800 Rand. In 90 days. Her channel grew in January, right, by 92 people on its own. You want to talk about leverage? Your channel can do this. It can grow while you're sleeping by nearly 100 people in a single month. 23 apps that she did personally in the first 42 days. So let's listen to her voice note and see what her experience has been.
Hi everybody, I'm Natasha Weldrick and I'm a single mom of 3. I've got a full-time job in the retail industry at the moment. I've been doing it for a few years, but unfortunately I'm just not earning enough to cope with my everyday, month-to-month, normal bills that we have. I was lucky enough for someone to show me the DewPoint opportunity just over a year ago. I saw the simplicity of it and the great opportunity to really change my finance situation. I joined, and then after about 2 months, I really started doing the business. I was really surprised when I got my first paycheck in the 3rd month. It was just under 2,000 Rand. What I did was I watched all the training videos on the internet, on the DewPoint website, daily. Learned about the products and just sort of really gotten more knowledge about it, you know. It really, really helped me. I then started mentioning this to a few people. It was very difficult in the beginning, but obviously as you go on, you learn every day and it does become easier. I'm now a rank 5. And it's really been amazing so far. As you all know, you obviously start at rank 1, and as your business grows, you move up your ranks. Never thought I'd be where I am today in just over a year. I'm really, really excited about DewPoint. It's changed a lot for me and my children. The finances are really a lot better than it was a year ago. It can only get better onwards. The future is really looking great. To my team out there, thanks for all the hard work. It has been a team effort. We will definitely continue all to grow and work together. We really learn every day. And as we carry on, we really get stronger. So at the end of the day, you know, if you look at this opportunity as a life-changing thing, it really, really can be. It can really change your whole life around in the sense of financial freedom. You can really reach your dreams and goals. All it takes is really dedication, perseverance, and not losing focus on that goal that what you want to reach at the end of the day is really possible with Dew Point. Yes, the future is looking bright, and Dew Point has definitely become a part of my life, and this is how it's going to be. I'm only going forward, and thank you, Dew Point, for this great opportunity. You have changed my life.
Single mom, 3 kids. I don't know how she does it. I've got myself and my wife, 2 kids I'm ready to, you know. So my hat really goes off to Natasha. She works 7 days a week in retail. 7 days a week. Single mom, 3 kids. Right? She's got a massive why. She's got a huge why. I'm hoping, I really hope she's going to go beyond what she needs in this business, and I hope that she does start to aspire to dreams and goals beyond just trying to make it at the end of every month. So, beyond our returns program, so remember the returns program is the recurring income that you create here. There's a second way to benefit as a wealth engineer, and that's through our rewards program. So the XP Rewards program works like this. As brand new wealth engineers, when you start engaging in typical wealth engineer behavior, we give you something called XP when you do all these things. So if you come to presentations, if you bring guests with you, if you do home presentations, you log into the app, you watch training videos online, if you do all of these things, there's about 20 different things, we give you XP along the way. It stands for experience points. And as you start collecting more and more XP and your business, your channel starts to grow, we reward you along the way, over and above the recurring income that you create. So if you join as a wealth engineer today, you'll start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. Look carefully. Do you see rank 0 on the screen? Not important being rank 0, right? Anyone can join this business, right? You start at rank 0. But to get to rank 1, all you need is 1,000 XP and 4 products in your qualified channel. And when you meet those 2 criteria, you suddenly become rank 1, and we give you a 55 Rand reward to start out at the end of the month. And that's not a recurring reward, that's once off. Right? 55 Rand once off, you go buy a donut and you celebrate early success in the business. But I'm going to tell you now, if you can get to rank 1, you can get to any rank. The people at rank 1 are doing the same thing the people at rank 20 are doing. Right? The same thing. And as you start collecting more and more XP and your channel starts to grow, the rewards get bigger. There's a 20,000 Rand check waiting for you, a 50,000 Rand check. We give this little device to our rank 5s that help them show the Dew Point opportunity regardless of what device they have around them. Because all our videos on that device plugs into phones, tablets, laptops, computers, TVs. At rank 7, we spent 12,500 Rand on a set of business cards just for you that are gilded and foiled in gold. There is no ink on these business cards. Go look at the business cards again in the merchandise cabinet, right? Why do we spend so much money on business cards? Because it lends to your credibility. You pull out a 12,500 Rand business card and you say to your friend, this is the business I'm talking about. I promise you that person is going to take note. Because no one has business cards like this in the country. You can be the CEO of Anglo American. He wishes he had cards like this. Right? It's about credibility in this business. At rank 9, this is our first recurring reward. What does that mean? At rank 9, you and your family get to join us on our international conference. It is an all-expenses paid trip for 7 days away to a 5-star luxury resort and business class tickets for your family. And it doesn't happen once, it happens every single year for the rest of your life. Recurring every year. Your kids won't know what economy class on a flight is. Think about that privilege, right? Every single year. Where are you going in December? Oh no, we're going overseas again, business class. And then next year, oh no, we're going overseas again, business class again. Oh, look at the photos. This is us in Mauritius. This is us in business class. That becomes part of your life at rank 9. At rank 9, your life will change. Take a look at our rank 9 trip. We've just come back from it. We've documented it for you.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark
So that's rank 9. Half our wealth engineers got there in less than 12 months. One gentleman made it in 5 months. In the XP Rewards program, you'll never get reset to 0. You just keep building on where you are. If you don't make the trip this coming December, it's waiting for you next December. If you don't make it next December, it's waiting for you December after that. The point is never to quit, because every day you'll be getting closer to that rank 9 trip, unless you quit. Then you'll never get, then I guarantee you won't get there. Right? At rank 11, we spend R250,000 on a brand new car for our wealth engineers. No T's and C's, no sharing it with somebody else, no give it back if your performance drops. When you get to rank 11, the car is yours. We buy it cash in your name and we give it to you. You get to drive it off our parking lot after a little bit of fanfare. This is rank 11. This is what our rewards program looks like. We're at rank 11. The program's designed up to rank 28. We've already laid out up to rank 28. What happens at rank 28? We got wealth engineers bearing down on rank 13, rank 14 already, in the space of 24 months. It is on the table for everybody in this business. And someone who's certainly on their way there is Rainal Narumbi. Come up, join me. Is Ray going to start? Okay. So Ray and Rumi have been up before. They know the format. You guys joined on the 19th of April. You rank 5 already. You're local to Johannesburg, so that's great. We've got some Gautengers up. Let's take a look at your performance over the last 10 months. Almost 11,000 in monthly return. They conquered the most wealth quests than any other wealth engineer in the last year, right? In January, so last month, they achieved the wealth quest again, and 10,000 Rand.
Thank you.
On top of their recurring income last month, 92 in channel growth over January. So again, right, testament to the power duplication, the leverage. Last month, you guys did over 20, but your channel grew by 100 almost. That's making money while you sleep. You see that happening there? That's leverage. That's almost 5-to-1 leverage that's happened there. They've duplicated themselves 5 times almost. That's great. That's going to get bigger and bigger. On average, since they've joined, they've been doing 12 apps. So 12 new wealth engineers joining their first point through their personal activity on average every single month. Big prospects. So share with us your experience once you join this business, because I love to understand what people thought when they first joined. Did they think we were a scheme? Did they only come because their friends were twisting their arms to get you? Why did you come? Why did you join? What was your experience of the business?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Okay, joining the business, I just heard from my aunt that there's this new network marketing company in town, in the country, and I saw someone getting paid. So
that counts for a lot.
Yes, so I'm money driven, so I was like, why not? Let's do this. So I signed up, then we came for the presentation, and then we started growing with the business. I think I'm going to share more over the last 10 months, the lessons that I've learned and what's working for me in growing the business and everything.
Great. Yeah.
I think the major problem, okay, I had that problem, and I think everyone in the room has that problem. I think because the economy is tough, everyone is desperate for a breakthrough. So it's like we all want money today and now. And obviously, when I came as well, I set unrealistic goals for myself. And then I then got to learn. The training is very important. Once I started going through the training videos, attending the development seminars, I got to understand the full perspective of Dewpoint. the reality of Dew Point is if you're going to stick around for 3 to 5 years, it's going to be life-changing. Because look at the people who've been in Dew Point from when Dew Point was launched. And because people are so desperate, they come into Dew Point, a month or two later, they want to quit. And for me, what I always try to share with my team is to say, the fact that you came here today for the presentation, that means you really need an extra income. Because if you didn't need it, no one would come out during this hour. The fact that you came and the fact that you take that step of signing up, it means you need it. The only thing that you then need to do is to commit. You need to realize with Dew Point, you're going to commit over a long period of time, and surely you get to reap the rewards. And I think I used to wonder, why is it that Dew Point, with regards to the incentives, I feel they have the best incentives in South Africa. And now I understand why they do, because you're going to commit, so you definitely need a big reward. Once you've signed up in the business, you need to be committed. When you look at that 3+2, set a target for yourself. If it's 3+2, you need to be consistent. You can't go for a month without doing your 3+2. If you exceed, the better. So I always also encourage people to say, rather focus on wanting to put in your 2 the first week of the month. Because if you do that and you fail, you still have week 2, week 3, week 4 to make sure you're still on track. And then consistency. That 3+2 again, you cannot miss a month. I think a lot of people fell short over the festive period, November, December. People just got tired. But you can't afford to. You cannot afford to get tired. You need to remain consistent. So I've spoken about that you're going to be in Dew Point for a long time. The business requires a lot of time and a lot of patience. It might seem as if it requires a lot of time, but if you start enjoying it, and if you make it a habit, you won't feel that you're putting too much time in the business. Just make it a point on a daily basis, you speak to someone about Dew Point. Then, like what Shadrach was saying, you need to understand the Dew Point system yourself. You can't go out and talk to people when you yourself don't know what's going on. And I think when you look at people who've joined Dew Point and quit, or those people who tell you, I can't find people, it's people that have never watched any training video. Because if you do the training that is offered in Dew Point, you know the statistics to network marketing, you know what to expect, you'll be able to continue to soldier on. And then teamwork is also very important in the business. And I think as wealth engineers, don't put people in the business and not support them. You need to put people in the business and support them, get them to start earning. Because once people start earning, they don't cancel. The only time that people cancel is when they're not benefiting anything. So they actually feel it's a loss. So you need to put people in the business and make sure that they are earning. Then the biggest thing that will make one succeed in Dew Point is belief in yourself. I remember when the January World Quest came, it was okay, there's 10,000 up for grabs. But I think halfway through the month, I was also getting tired and thinking I won't make it. But I decided this is 2018, I'm doing things differently. I'm going to believe in myself, I'm going to do it. And I was thinking, this is like the most difficult quest that I've come across in Dew Point. But when I look back, it was actually one of the easiest because I did put in the numbers, and now I'm looking forward to growing the business with those people.
Taking more wealth quests as well.
Yes. The wealth quests are there for a reason, guys. It's to train you and you benefit at the same time. You must ask yourself, you can't be a wealth engineer and you're not working towards the wealth quest. What's the point? Why are you in the business? You need to focus and to just push yourself out of the comfort zone, and you make it in the business.
Awesome. Thanks, Rumbi. What has your experience been?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I remember the first night when Rumbi came to me and she was telling me about the business. I just, nothing triggered, there was nothing exciting to me when she was I'm being honest, you know, I just said to be a good husband, and and I came to the presentation, and it was not so easy for me to focus and concentrate. You know, I remember the only thing that I got was when Brendan was saying, we have created this tool, and he was holding that small remote, and I was busy focusing on the remote. Is it going to make money? You know, I couldn't concentrate with the rest of the presentation, you know. But as time goes on, you know, I had to support my wife. I'm a supporting husband, by the way. You know, I ended up engaging myself in the business, and it was fortunate anyway that most of the time we were spending time with my wife. At some point, we were working together in the same floor. We would drive together at work in the same car. We would sleep together. At Jew Point, we are together. And I even realized that she's a good person, eh? Yes, I just want to say something about the network marketing. You know, the network marketing is very forgiving. You know, you can do it whenever you want. You can do it for a few minutes, whatever that you want to do. But at the end of the day, you get these haphazard results. So I think the advice that I want to give you, when you engage into a network marketing, especially Viewpoint, you need to treat it like a job. Okay. So make sure that when a day passes by without even talking to people, let it be a matter of concern that you need to feel the pain. Okay, if you have to engage more hours the following day so that you can compensate the previous day, let it be. And I remember last time when we had Converge with Mavuma, he was telling us that, you know, at some point, especially in this business, it's very challenging, I don't want to lie to you. At some point, we'll be up in the morning, and my wife is very emotional, you know, and the dashboard will be red. I think for all the wealth engineers, you know what I mean when I say the dashboard will be red. There'll be cancel, fail, not provided for.
It's all the blood.
And trust me, if something like that happens, there'll be drought for the next 2 days in the house. Too much info. But yeah, you know, but I think it was a learning curve. You know, we were learning, and now we know how to deal with our emotions. We are human beings, guys. Let's be realistic. At some point, we'll have some emotions, but I think the only way you will be mature in the business is when you can deal with your emotions. You know, people are so disappointing, but I think you just have to stay focused. You just have to stay focused. And there are three important things in the industry that I just want to share with you. Mindset. You know, you need to have a level of mental resilience. If you work with your mindset, you know, you have this mental strength to handle what it takes to build a business. You know, I remember at some point we were on the very edge of quitting the business, you know, because we were facing so many challenges, you know. But at some point, I feel like, I don't know, I know maybe a lot of us are not Christians, a lot of people are not Christians, but I think a prayer does wonders to such extent, you know, those situations. And we had to pray about it, and we find ourselves having strength to carry on with the business. So the other thing as well is the skill set, developing the skill set of creating relationship capital to be able to communicate and attract people who have the same vision, who are hungry, who are willing to invest themselves in the business. It's very important. You know, I remember each and every time, how many minutes do we have?
Got another hour.
Okay. I remember most of the time, you know, we would, at some point when we were starting the business, we would be so desperate that we just want to have numbers and everything. But, you know, at some point, I think if you are not in a position to tell someone that, no, I don't think you'll be able to join this business, you still need to think about it. You don't have to be desperate in business. Because, I mean, tell me something, you know, if someone is saying, no, I'm a truck driver and I'm always in Congo. I mean, I'm not saying truck drivers cannot do the business, but I'm just giving you an example that, you know, they don't have the time. They don't have the time, you know. They don't have the time to engage with people because maybe they are always on the road. So at some point, you need to tell someone, I mean, you can go to anyone and prospect. If you hear the situation or if you hear their position, you should be in a position to tell them, no, guys, I don't think this business is good for you. Okay. And I just want to share a strategy that I've been using at some point. My wife likes shopping anyway. She's a shopaholic. So I remember this, you know, and I've also adapted to it anyway. I remember at this point we were in Checkers and there was this other guy on the shelf who was looking at Cereal's coffee, no, Jacob's coffee on the shelf. Then I went to the guy. Okay, guys, just a mistake, okay. Then I went to the guy. This is the strategy that I used to the guy, okay. And there was something next, I don't remember what was it. And I just went straight to the guy and said, yo, things are getting expensive, you know. And we had a conversation, no, for sure, you can say that again. This was that. Then I said, if it was not for Dew Point, yo, I don't know how I was going to manage this. And he was, and he asked me, what is Dew Point? Then I said, okay, I have my son in the car. I'm in a rush. Just give me your number, then I'll give you a call and we can set up an appointment and then we can talk about it. Okay, and that's what we did. And the guy is still in Dew Point.
Well done.
Okay. One last thing. I think you also need to understand that the business is about you. So if the business is about you, there are people who are going to come who are going to quit. You can't quit because people in your team are quitting. Remember when you came, it was you who needed an extra income. It was you who had those goals and the vision of what you want to do with your money that you're going to earn from Dew Point. So with the business being about you, you need to remember personal activity is very important, which means you need to be connecting people to Dew Point. And then you need to focus on your team as in supporting them and everything. But don't focus too much on the ones that are quitting. Because a lot of people are falling short just because of people that are quitting in their business. If you just continue soldiering on, you will find those stars who are going to shoot the sky out.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Sage advice from a very experienced, I call them the power couple. Don't they look like a power couple? Thank you for that. Ladies, gentlemen, I remind you, we've got 2018 ahead of us. 2018. Every morning when you wake up, that person that looks back at you in the mirror is the one that decides what they're going to be doing that day. Are you going to be doing your job that pays you a salary, or are you also going to be thinking about that endeavor that you've engaged in that can potentially change your life beyond what the economy is offering, beyond what employment's offering? And are you willing to endure that accountability of just speaking to somebody, telling someone, the coffee is so expensive? It's as simple as that. It's small talk. It's the ability to connect people to an opportunity that our population is begging for. And I'll do all the work. Brendan and myself, we'll do all the work. You connect people to us, we will do all the work. We will support you in this thing called Dew Point. You have 2018 ahead of you. Our Rank 9 trip is in December. It is waiting for all of you, for your families, for your children. So I invite you to have a prosperous 2018, a year that sets yourself apart from all the other years in the past. So I invite you to join us. I thank you for your time this evening. If you have any questions, come speak to me. Brendan, I think, is still here. Thank you, guys.